We're back on old Route 66. Welcome everybody to Tucumcari, New Mexico on a fine Sunday afternoon. It is sweltering out here in New Mexico currently, but that's okay. That's just how I like it. What's an adventure without a little sweat, huh? I absolutely love this town. This place is full of old relics and history, tumbled down ruins and possibilities, old cars and roadside architecture, and some of, if not the most famous buildings and neon signs and iconic photo ops on old Route 66. And if you don't believe me, this is case in point right over here, the literally world famous and iconic Blue Swallow Motel. You'll see this place on postcards and calendars. You literally see it all over the world. I was in France one time, and in the window of this little shop, there were some American souvenirs, and what did I behold but a picture of this iconic neon sign. And if you think it looks good now, wait till a little bit later when we see it at night, all lit up in its full glory. Now, Tucumcari has always been a star on Route 66. There used to be hundreds and hundreds of billboards saying Tucumcari tonight because there were so many hotels and motels in this town, not to mention gas stations, service stations, tire places, because it was a major railroad and ranching town before Route 66 came through, and it's sort of the last town in New Mexico heading towards Texas, or the first major town coming in from Texas. And even after the interstate came through and took most of the traffic away here on what used to be the major highway across northern New Mexico, right here on this pavement right in front of us. Partially because there's so many iconic pieces of Americana in this town, but also partially because this is one of those towns too tough to die, where the community has just never given up. They've given great service. They've tried to preserve as much of their old roadside and railroad history as possible. Tucumcari still survives on the side of old Route 66 to this day. And for me, it is definitely one of my favorite ports in the storm. And one of my absolute favorite things about Tucumcari is that there's so many people who have come here to reopen or restore classic old motels and little roadside businesses. Here's one, for example, the Motel Safari, which has fully embraced its mid-century theming and its mid-century charm. And it is not by far the only story of its kind here in town. Now, spoiler alert, I still haven't managed to actually stay at the Motel Safari. More shame on me. The next time I come through town, I'm gonna make it a point to stay here. But for two reasons, I'm actually staying at another motel in town, another restoration success story. One, because I'm actually on this road trip with my son. In fact, it's actually Father's Day as I walk around town today, which is partially why it's so quiet today. And I want him to see some of my favorite places. And two, because it's a very special anniversary for the motel that we are staying at this year. But real quick, man, look at TP Curios. Look at this place. Has been open since the 1940s and 50s. Programmatic architecture. That's buildings that are shaped like other things, you know, themed architecture. And wait a minute, what the heck is that? Oh no, it's the world famous Hulk!
That's right. Fear me.
Run for your life, back to the motel. We're back at USA Today's #1 roadside motel. My absolutely favorite place to take a break from long hours on the road, the Roadrunner Lodge. My first visit here was about 8 years ago. And the first time I came here, this place had barely been open for 2 years because the Roadrunner Lodge was a brand new business reopened in the hulk, the wreck basically, of an old Route 66 motel, the old crusty Leatherwood Manor. Now, the Leatherwood was built, I believe, in the 60s and then had sort of been upgraded through the 70s and the 80s, so it was kind of crusty and musty. It was one of those places you would stay at if you were really desperate, but probably not otherwise, and then eventually was abandoned for years because the place was just sort of falling apart. But enter my now good buddy and his then wife, David Brenner, who came here from Dallas, Texas, and was a city-dwelling IT guy. They came here with the dream of opening up an old motel along Route 66, restoring it, bringing it back to its former glory, and this is where they ultimately settled down, opening up the Roadrunner Lodge right here where the old Leatherwood Manor was. And at first, it was really nothing like this. There were only a few rooms available because they literally, on their own, room by room, had to restore this place from the ground up. And even by the time I paid my first visit here to the Roadrunner Lodge Motel, there were only a handful of rooms fit to stay in, but luckily some of those rooms were their super fancy deluxe boutique rooms known as the snazzy 60s rooms. Now, we've stayed here many times before. Like I said, I've showed you all the snazzy 60s rooms. They have vintage radios in there. They have their own radio station here playing vintage advertisements and things like that. There's vintage board games, vintage magazines. It's like a little break from the modernity of the interstate. It's like staying in a little time capsule. So of course I absolutely fell in love, particularly because it's sort of a 1960s theme, and you get a lot of 1930s, 40s, and 50s stuff on Route 66, but the 60s is sort of an underappreciated era. Well, anyway, this year, 2024, marks the 10th anniversary of the Roadrunner Lodge's opening, the 10th anniversary next month in July of their very first paying guest staying here. In fact, there's a little plaque in the lobby with the first dollar the Roadrunner Lodge ever made. And even though there's been some ups and downs and some changes and a global pandemic, in the meantime, the Roadrunner Lodge is still here. David Brenner's still here running the place, and they've upgraded and opened more rooms than ever before, including the room I'm staying in now, which is a brand new room, just as snazzy as the snazzy 60s rooms, but this time with a new twist and a new theme, something David told me about 2 years ago, the last time I was here, and I completely forgot about until I opened the door of good old room number 7 over here, and behold, what met my eye but a tiki-themed room. That's right, he's done it, that genius, that madman. A tiki-themed, snazzy 60s room at the Roadrunner Lodge Motel. A Route 66 tiki-themed room. Oh, that is right up my alley. Sparkling clean. You got the tiki bathroom. You got the slightly tiki-themed room in here. Fully themed, but still with that cool 1960s minimalist aesthetic that the Roadrunner is famous for. It's cheesy, it's fun, it's brightly colored, it's mid-century modern, yet it's tiki somehow. It's beachy, yet we're in the desert. I had the AC blasting last night. I had the best sleep, one of the best sleeps of my life, on this very comfortable king-size mattress in here. And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't even want to wake up this morning. I was like, I just want to lay here in bed all day. Now, obviously, I've messed up the place by staying in here last night a little bit, but look at this. You got all the snazzy 60s features, the old radio with the custom radio station playing on it. There's a little bit of a tiki drum back there. Look at this old car travel game, this old vintage car travel game. You got your sparkling clean glasses, some RC Cola, some Moon Pie, vintage magazines and board games to check out, so you can go for that full time capsule feel. All the features of the snazzy 60s room, but with a tiki twist. And this isn't the only tiki room. Apparently there's a second tiki themed room at the Roadrunner now. Check this out back here in room number 15. I'm told neither of these rooms is absolutely finished yet. There's still a little bit more theming left to go, but dude, look at this. The staff just cleaned this room up. I'm not staying in it, so we got to be careful not to touch too many things, but look at the snazzy 60s features. We've got the old Victrola playing old school music and advertisements. You got that mid-century lamp. Look at the wall decoration. What do we got over here? Oh, a little bit of a tiki painting on the wall. I love these long, skinny, weird tiki masks. They look like something you would have picked up from Hawaii back in the day. And this is so cool. Like the box springs got this little thing, and it matches that foot runner, whatever you call those cloths, at the foot of the bed. Look at these mid-century lamps. These are sort of cool. These are sort of very tiki. I love the sort of bamboo or the cane stuff on the wall over here. You've got the mid-century modern furniture. It's understated, it's simple, it's clean, and trust me, especially in the summertime when you're driving through the desert of New Mexico across Route 66, and if you're like me, you got the windows down, or you've been crawling around looking at old gas stations, you're covered with dirt and everything, you want to come to a place like this that is sort of white and bright colors, and you can see that everything's spotlessly clean. You got some Kleenex, and you got your accoutrement over here. Look at this. You got your TV table over here, nice and sort of 60s and tiki theme. This is all vintage stuff. And then best of all, those clean bathrooms, sanitized for your protection over there, with the bathtub and the shower that are brand new in my room. The thing I love most, spotlessly clean. Tucumcari, yummy. All right, we've turned off the lights back there. We're gonna restore it to its pristine condition for the next guest. I love this lamp right here. I love the furniture. I love the snazzy 60s combined with the freaky tiki vibe. I love that there's Route 66 books in here so you can really get in the mood. Dude, tiki rooms in Tucumcari, New Mexico. Tucumcari Tiki, who would have thought? Now, my son, London, may not be getting the full Tiki experience, except for when he comes into my room and we're eating and hanging out, but he has got a very special room at the Roadrunner Lodge as well. He's up in number 32, which uses the hashtag, the view from 32, because look at how gorgeous that view is. Another immaculately clean room. It's sort of halfway to a snazzy 60s. So even the regular rooms here are awesome. They're clean, they're wholesome, they're nice, they're retro. They fit right in with that Route 66 traveling theme. I had no idea we were even gonna find tiki rooms here. It was mostly because I'm sharing my passion for the mother row with my son, so I wanted him to stay at one of my absolute favorite places on the planet. And also, of course, I wanted to be part of celebrating the Roadrunner's 10th anniversary year, which is why I've brought the Roadrunner a special present, a little addition to its Route 66 charms. But in order to show you what that is, we've got to go back down the street, and I've got to talk about the Blue Swallow Motel for just a second. And we're back at the Blue Swallow. Now, like I was saying, this might be the most famous motel on Route 66, certainly the most visually iconic. I was literally in Paris, France, walking around one time, and there was a store with sort of an American theme, pictures on the wall, and what do I see but a massive picture of this very sign, the Blue Swallow Motel, right on the side of Route 66. They started construction on this place in 1939, and it had a series of owners even in the early days. But what made it special, and what makes it special today, is that behind this later sort of upgraded lobby, back here, it gets super old school. It's not like a modern motel. This is one of the very earliest motels, purpose-built for cars, the very early days of motor travel across the country. This is an old tourist court or auto court, and that is why you see back there these garages between the rooms. They designed it, and it was all the rage back then to be able to pull your car up to your motel, park in your own private garage, and then pop right into your room. It was weatherproof. You're out of the rain, you're out of the sun, you can pop right in and look at it. It's still old school, still has a lot of its 1930s charm. Look at the little awnings over the doorways. You can see some of the plaster shells here. Most of the time, these garages would get filled in so that these properties could get extra rooms out. You know, they could double or triple the amount of rooms. I think there's only 12 or 14 rooms even today at the Blue Swallow. In 1958, this guy named Floyd Redmond and his wife Lillian purchased the property, and they were pretty much the longest term owners of the Blue Swallow. They upgraded it, they gave it that 100% refrigerated air, you know, the old air conditioning treatment. They upgraded the neon around here, so you'll still find all kinds of iconic neon, including the gargantuan, world famous Blue Swallow Motel neon sign at the front. You can see the more 1950s looking office, so you get that little bit of 1930s sort of retro look there, and then you've got the more mid-century modern look all combined. And Lillian was actually still here, I believe, if I'm not remembering wrong, until 1998. And luckily, rather than it crumbling down or being purchased by someone who, you know, would have you know, not really upkept the neon or done anything like that. It was purchased by a couple that understood the significance of the Blue Swallow. They understood the significance of Route 66. They restored the neon. They kept the classic charm. They inserted rotary phones into the room and kind of dialed you back into the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. And even though it's had a couple of owners since then, all of the owners have understood the significance, the historical charm. They have not filled in the garages. They've got the vintage cars out here. They've got the old patio furniture, and it's amazing to come here at night, and any night of the week you will see people sitting out here swapping stories from the road, swapping stories from Route 66, and it's great because not only are the rooms retro, but look at this in the garages. You've got all kinds of epic murals. There are old advertising signs, and look at this, you got vintage bicycles in here. So there's just so much charm. And it's a little earlier than, say, the Roadrunner. That's more of the 1960s. Motel Safari, sort of 1950s. You got 1930s into 40s over here at the Blue Swallow. My first time staying here because it's actually so popular, right? There's only a limited number of rooms, and the 100th anniversary of Route 66 is coming up in 2 years. In the busy season, it can be hard to get a spot if you don't book in advance. So my first time wasn't until 2017 when I did my epic LA to Chicago, back to LA Route 66 series. There's a whole playlist. You can see that on this channel. I finally got to stay at the Blue Swallow Motel. So first I stayed over at the Roadrunner, then the next night I stayed over here. And as I said in the next video, the next morning when I woke up, I go, you know, I feel like I've left a piece of my heart here in Tucumcari. Hey, maybe that's why I keep coming back to Tucumcari to visit it, huh? And I left something else besides. Earlier on that same trip, way farther west on Route 66 in Oatman, Arizona, I picked up a little chalkware burro named Billy the Burro. Brought him all the way out here to Tucumcari and left him behind the office at the Blue Swallow Motel. I didn't ask for anybody's permission. I just sort of stuck him back there. I figured, you know what? Someone will probably take him, or he'll get broken eventually. But here we are 8 years later, and guess what? Right behind the office, right here past this historic Route 66 sign, Billy the Burro is still here. In fact, the next time after that I came to Tucumcari, the old owners of the motel came out and said, "Hey, you're the burro guy, right?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." They're like, "No, it's great. Randomland people keep coming and they keep taking pictures and visiting old Billy the Burro out here." I thought, oh, that's awesome. Then there's some new owners here who London and I were just talking to a little while ago, and they've kept Billy the Burro here. All the fans and guests have kept Billy the Burro alive. He's chalkware, so he's looking a little worse for wear. I really need to come bring some acrylic paint and cover him with a nice thick layer to help weatherproof him a little more. But people have been taking fun pics with Billy the Burro. He's become part of Tucumcari and the Blue Swallow's history now, I guess. And so because the centennial is coming, the 100th anniversary of Route 66, the big show, the big celebration, the big parade is coming very soon. London and I went back to Oatman, Arizona. We went into the very same shop and we brought Billy back a little surprise. Look at this. Billy's getting a brother. It's Billy's new brother, Beto the Burro. Look at this. Look at old Billy. And look at his brother Beto. As you can see, they are the exact same sort of design, the same mold. These are these made in Mexico chalkware figures from Oatman, Arizona, home of the wild burros on Route 66. And this was actually the last one of this exact design and model. You can see they're exactly the same that they had left at that very same store where Billy came from. So Billy's younger brother Beto's gonna be here with him for the 100th. Hopefully, if you know nobody kicks him or smashes him or steals him or whatever, please don't do that. Come and take a fun pic at the Blue Swallow with the legendary Billy and his brand new brother Beto. I'm gonna stick him right here. And by the way, if any of you are good painters and you wanna bring some acrylic paint out here and, you know, retouch old Billy here, it'd be much appreciated because look at how he's worn down from the weather. All right, there they are in their new home. Come and find them out here. Billy and Beto the Burros over here. London's now helped me add to a little bit of modern Route 66 history. We are just one little tiny burro piece of a long chain going all the way back here in Tucumcari to 1939. So tag me in the picture. Let's do it for the gram, guys. Billy the Burro and his brother Beto. All right, we've done our duty over here at the Blue Swallow. We'll come back and I'll show you that sick neon sign at night because you can never have too many shots of that. But now I can explain to you what I've done for the Roadrunner. Okay, so you know, I put the burro out here. People have been taking pictures with the burro for 8 years, and I couldn't bring another burro to the Blue Swallow without hooking up my friends at the Roadrunner Lodge as well. So the Roadrunner Lodge is getting a new feature. I'm not gonna give away the exact location, and I think he's gonna be moving around the property. This isn't his permanent home anyways, but if you're ever cruising down Route 66 in front of the Roadrunner, make sure you stop by. If you're not gonna get a snazzy 60s room and a tiki room, that's okay, although I recommend you do. Say hello to Rudy the Roadrunner. Get it? Rudy? Like Route 66. Say hello to old Rudy, who also comes from the very same shop in Oatman, Arizona. He may not be related to the burros, but he's from the same town, and just like the Roadrunner is basically the neighbor of the Blue Swallow, Rudy the Roadrunner is the neighbor of Billy and Beto the burro. So come and say hi to Rudy. He's kind of crazy colored over here. When I saw that Roadrunner, I went, oh my gosh, it's time. It's time Tucumcari gets another new character. So come say hi to Rudy the Roadrunner. Say hi to David Brenner, the owner. Come check this out. Okay, there's some new stuff in Tucumcari. I've showed many of its old attractions, the local history museum, the dinosaur museum, tons of stuff that's actually closed today on Sunday, on Father's Day. But there's a brand new attraction, which is a little bit hard to explain, but it is blazing hot right now. And so I'm gonna catch back up with you in a couple hours and go check it out. All right, well, the wind has picked up now and the sun is lower in the sky, which means it's cooled down quite a bit. I got a lot of rest today. I don't know, I can list off the amenities of the Roadrunner all day long, but that's not really what gets me about this place. It's that every time I hang out here, I seem to be more rested than almost any other place I've ever stayed on Route 66. I love it. It's time to seek that new attraction. I kept wondering why there were these little art things painted all over town. Well, it turns out that 4 miles north, you go past downtown, and 4 miles outside of the town, there's a new place called Art City, set up by an artist who goes by the most famous artist, Matty Mo. That's basically all the information I have about it so far, but what I do know is that if there's a new attraction in or near Tucumcari, I've got to check it out, at least for a little bit. I don't think I've ever gone this far north of town before, man. They couldn't have picked a more remote looking area. This is beautiful out here. Actually, London just corrected me and said the most famous artist is a collective started by Matty Mo. Well, what can I say? I'm learning. All right, this is it, Art City. It's apparently still very much under development. It's a place where artists can come and bring their giant works of art, Burning Man style stuff, big old megalithic things, come out here and work on art pieces. I am very interested to see what is going on out here. You do pay an admission to come in because there's like a liability waiver and all that kind of stuff. There's the website right there if you're coming through this area and you want to check it out. I know some of this stuff is specifically meant to be seen at night. Obviously the sun's still up for us, but I at least wanted to get a little peek since we're cruising through town, a little glimpse at what's going on. This is it. We just parked the car and we're about to walk the loop over here, get a little preview of Art City. Look at this. Obviously some supplies to build more art out here. You can tell this art is going to be the best art of all the art. Get excited, London. Art! This does feel weird walking into here because no one was at the gate when we got here. And there are houses like facing us. Just cruising in. It just feels like we're going to get in trouble for some reason. I feel like a trespasser. Ooh, I see some trailers over there. So apparently there are some little glamping sites out here. So if you're into that, you can come glamping out among the art. Just don't smoke. No smoking. Okay, we're encountering a few signs over here, a couple signs. And look at this. This is how you know you're in the right place. Art. I got a friend named Art. He should come take a picture with that. All right, we just met a guy named Charlie back there who's staying on site. They let artists stay on site. That's what those trailers are for. I guess the glamping sites will be up ahead. And look at this. We're getting a guided tour. There are more dogs in Art City than I expected. I mean, I expected some dogs, just not this many. Dude, and look at this. The mind's eye. What a setting for a piece of art. So what we were just told is that this big art like this is kind of known as Burning Man art, but they're kind of trying to change the narrative on that, you know? Not just because, you know, Burning Man art has a bad name or anything, but just because people associate it with only that. There's not a lot of places to do art on a big scale. I mean, think about it. If you live in a town like I do, you know, I live in Anaheim, I live right near Disneyland. There's no place I'd be allowed to set up a piece of art like this. The mind's eye. Look at that. Apparently there's a map on the website and you can get all the artists' names. Dude, I'm tripping out. If I came across this on the highway, I would for sure pull over. Oh my gosh, we're having the best time. We're having the best time, huh boy? Are we having the best time ever? The best time ever, all the art. So this piece is by someone called Lana Eddy. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it's really amazing in person because of that background back there. I mean, there's just nothing for miles. Dude, this is actually already fun. We got dogs, we got trails. I mean, I love Route 66, but there are definitely not enough easily accessible trails. Kind of nice to get out and walk a little bit in the landscape and get to know the territory you're traveling through. Man, this is like something out of a dream. There are hammocks everywhere and disco balls hanging in the trees. We're apparently heading towards the Paradisium Forest, which is something new here, but almost everything's gonna be new. This has only been here for a few months, they said, and they are still building all kinds of gigantor works of art out here. So this is just kind of a work in progress, really. We're getting sort of a sneak peek. Ooh, before we even get to the forest, look at this piece. Stone 11. See, that's awesome. Now imagine you're from the city, right? You're living in Brooklyn. Where could you set up a piece of art like this? Where could you indulge your creativity? And if you think this is big, would you look at the size of this? We're a little bit confused. Everything's so new, the paths are new. We're not sure if we're going the right direction yet or not. We probably should have looked at the map first. I believe this is the Paradisium Forest. What's the artist's name again, London?
Dave Keane.
By Dave Keane? Dude, I wonder if Dave is a fan of Return of the Jedi, because this looks like a giant version of the Kenner Endor playset. This is so cool. But look at these crazy wood patterns. I mean, it's like works of art on the works of art. As you can see, it's still in process here. We are seeing something come together that I have a feeling is going to be legendary. Soon everybody's gonna know about Art City if they're building stuff like this. See, this is why I want to own land. I just want to do things. I'm already inspired. If art is meant to inspire you and get you to want to create things, this has definitely done the trick. Dude, and I mean, this is on Route 66. If you'd have showed me a picture of this yesterday, I'd be like, what the heck are you talking about? That's not on Route 66, but that's why it's always worth traveling Route 66. Again, you never know what's gonna pop up on the route or nearby the route. Things are always changing.
This place is cool. It's like an art summer camp.
Yeah, for real, dude. This place is cool. It's beautiful. And it's just making me want to get some of this wood and start carving it and go to town. After Tinkertown the other day, and now this, I'm like pretty darn inspired. One day I just hope to get some land somewhere, anywhere in the country I can just make art on, build weird things on, you know. I'd love to get some volunteers and build some weird stuff. Hey, maybe, you never know, maybe I'll get invited to come make some art at Art City. And I've already noticed there's all kinds of lights out here along the path. There are solar lights out here. So I hear that this place looks incredible after dark, and I believe it. Wow, this is cool. They got a little kitchen over there. They got this big shelter to create art under. I see some buses and trailers and stuff. Oh, and definitely you can tell there's some artwork that is meant to light up at night. Like, look at these over here. Yeah, these are the electric dandelions. So you know those things light up and look awesome at night. Man, the next time I come to Tucumcari, and there's always a next time for me and Tucumcari, I am coming out here at night. We're gonna get the full tour of all this artwork. Sorry if I skip any artists out there. I think this one's Abram Santa Cruz created this. Look at this piece out here. It's just called Lips. And well, the title is very apt, because that is one giant set of kissers. Look at the size of those lips over there. Look at that, it looks like there's like a bed inside of these lips. Man, these things are gargantuan. Look at the size of them, and there's art in every freaking direction out here. Whoa. Context is everything, and this juxtaposition here of seeing this like Viking looking boat or canoe right here is very interesting. Blessing, God is king. And then there's a little Nike symbol on there. There was like a Brazilian flag almost, or I think. I don't know my flags that well. I don't know what this piece of art is called. The Bodies Left Behind. Man, I'd love to know more about this because look at that. That is so freaking cool looking. Oh, look at that. Now I can see the little glamping tents over there. They're like solar yurts. That's awesome. You can come camp out here, check out the art if you're an artist somehow. I guess you can come stay out here and create stuff. I mean, this is so interesting. I know Burning Man has got all kinds of people at it, but I can already tell you it's different from Burning Man art in one sense, and that is we saw signs coming in like no booze, no drugs. Look at this one called Centered. And with the sun over there going down, that is cool. I don't know how that looks to you guys, but this is incredible looking in real life. And man, if I shut up for a second, I do feel weirdly centered right now with the breeze blowing. Weird. So interesting. The Museum of No Spectators. This is by John M. and Absinthia V. I know some of this stuff is meant to be seen at night, so I hope we're seeing it the way it's meant to be seen, but this is trippy. I almost feel like, maybe it's just that we're in New Mexico and we're not that far from Roswell, considering I feel like we're seeing some kind of like extraterrestrial stuff out here. This is otherworldly. This is otherworldly. Oh, that's the best art of all the art. A Super S. We're guessing based on the title of this piece, maybe you're supposed to add something, add a little bit of art, Museum of No Spectators, get it? Maybe write on it, because there's lots of writing in there and paintings. But we didn't bring any implements, so it'll have to wait till next time, I guess. Oh yeah, man. I see some art. I see some art. Oh my gosh. Could that be a piece of the Roswell crash? UFO people, you know what I'm talking about. Weird. Man. I'm usually not much for modern art, but there's something about this one. It just sucks you in, literally. Don't you feel yourself being sucked in? There's like billions of grasshoppers hopping around here. Being from Southern California, we're spoiled, not a lot of insects, so it's like kind of strange when we come out here, like, oh man, there's things jumping and moving in all the bushes and everywhere. Look at these winding paths. Like I say, it feels nice to not just get out of the car, but even get away from the highway and just see something different. This is definitely different, that's for sure. If you're looking for something different, if you're looking for something weird, this is the spot. Definitely different from everything else we've done so far, right?
Yeah.
Definitely a lot different. Oh, holy extraterrestrial. What in the meow wolf is this? What the heck? This is like something out of a science fiction movie, something out of Star Wars. Look at this guy standing over here, looking into the mouth of the beast, and then look inside the mouth of the beast. What in the heck is that? It's a child of the stars. What is this? It's called Facing the Fear Beast. And actually, now that I know the title, man, that perfectly describes this piece of art. Now, I'm just guessing here. I'm going out on a limb. I'm not an art expert. But this really looks like if you stare into the mouth of your fears, what you're really going to find is a reflection of yourself. What do you think? What's your interpretation? Dude, look at the size of that fear beast right there. You know, it's true, man. Like, geez, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I was getting divorced. I was terrified of what was going to happen to me. You know, lots of times I've been in situations where there's no money or not enough money, or how am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to support London? How am I going to support Allie, my family? What am I going to do with myself? Or, oh, you know, what if nobody likes the next thing that I create? What if people stop watching the videos? What if nobody cares anymore? You know, what am I going to do in the future? I don't own any property. I don't have any savings. A lot of times you let the fear and anxiety get to you, and it just feels so huge, so powerful, so limitless. But if you have the courage to really just stare it down and look it in the face, don't keep running, don't keep fearing, don't keep panting, what you really find out is it's just you in there. Nothing to fear but yourself. Sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes it just takes a little courage, a little staring the beast in the face. It's almost like FDR had a hand in this one, you know? There's nothing to fear but fear itself. All right, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but that piece is by Tiger Mashal Lively. We're just reading it off the website. This is so awesome, you guys. This is just the beginning of an attraction that I feel like is gonna be legendary. Maybe I shouldn't use the word attraction. Maybe the artist would prefer, you know, an outdoor gallery or something like that. But to me, the word attraction does not have any negative connotations, right? To me, Disneyland is a piece of art. To me, the Blue Swallow's neon sign is a piece of art. And speaking of that neon sign, the sun is going down, and even though I can see there are more art pieces out here, incredible ones, we're gonna save those for when we come back, or when I come back at least, because I can already see that they're setting up more pieces of art. There's gonna be more to see next time, because I can already see that they're setting up more pieces of art out there, and I feel like this place will really deserve its own video, and I can actually do more research on the artists and the pieces of art out here. But this is pretty epic. It's like, I feel like we got this really sneak peek of all this stuff. I would have never known what was going on just from the word art spray painted in town on some stuff. So I gotta give David Brenner credit over at the Roadrunner for letting me know, hey man, there's this thing that's being set up out there, and it is already insane, and it's gonna get even more insane. All right, as you can see, the sun is going down, the shadows are getting long, sun's going down in the west. Let's head back to town, check out some classic neon, and then try to get some rest, because we're only in New Mexico. We haven't even hit the halfway point of Route 66 yet. We got a long way to go. You know that scene in the movie Cars where they finally get all the neon relit and they're shabooming and they're going low and slow? Driving into Tucumcari at night is kinda like that. And just imagine, instead of, you know, every 10th business or whatever, back in the day it would have been every business that had a lit neon sign through town at sunset. It's the kind of thing that makes me wish I had Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk money, you know, so I could just come here and restore all the neon throughout town. When I was a kid, I used to wonder why all the old car guys were obsessed with neon, but then you come someplace like this, and if you're actually standing out here, there is something totally different about neon than LED or anything like that, although LED is better than nothing. It's just so cool, such a lost art form, really. And of course, if you're a fan of neon, then the granddaddy of them all when it comes to Route 66 is probably this, the Blue Swallow Motel. And look at that, it looks cool in the daylight, but there's nothing like it at night. And all I can imagine is that back in the day, every motel had something like this, and so many of them had moving neon where, you know, somebody's legs would blink and it would look like they're running or walking. And then I always like to imagine what it'd be like for like a country bumpkin from some small town to cruise into somewhere off the then modern highway of Route 66 and to see all the neon. And then remember, New York City, Los Angeles, all the big cities in the country, St. Louis would have been covered with neon during that era as well. So this is just, you know, not just a piece of Route 66's past, seeing old neon signs, but a piece of America's past. And look at all the cool neon that they've put up around the Blue Swallow over the years since the restorations began in the late 90s and then through the 2000s. I mean, this is very special. There's old-timey radio playing. I was just hearing some Louis Armstrong a second ago. It's funny, in the last couple of minutes, I have met people from Germany, France, Russia. That's weird. I didn't know Russians were coming over at the moment, but okay. People from all over the country sitting out in front of their little rooms here at the Blue Swallow. I meet people like that at the Roadrunner. I meet people like that at all the classic Route 66 locations. People come from around the world to see that slice of Americana from that weird time period post-World War II where we were just stretching our legs and becoming a superpower. There was all this idealism, also lots of things in the past that are a little uglier and a little uncomfortable, which people are finally addressing now in the last 2 decades or so. And along with all the challenges of different time periods, there was also a lot of hope, optimism, creativity, artistic endeavors, a lot of interesting challenges, pioneer spirit, entrepreneurialism, lots of things that are worthy of being looked up to and appreciated and recognized and ultimately preserved. And I think that's what they do here on Route 66, especially in Tucumcari, preserving a little bit of that optimism of the past, a little bit of that fantasy, a little bit of that exotic travel from a bygone age. But then, of course, as we saw out there in Art City, there are still creative people out there trying something new, taking risks, or if we see at the Roadrunner Motel, we see with David, there's people taking risks on preservation, restoring something, and yet creating something entirely new. So the American dream isn't dead. It's a little more difficult maybe than it has been in the past in some ways. But as I said years ago when Route 66 magazine did a feature on me, America is still out there if you know where to look. So come to Tucumcari, stay at the Blue Swallow, stay at the Roadrunner, check out all the little mom and pop restaurants in here. We were just in a diner earlier. I had the best cup of coffee I've had in a long time. Get something from TP Curios, check out the art, maybe plan a road trip with the kids if you're ever coming out this way, or just go solo, man. I come out here solo all the time and I really enjoy it. But until then, if you want to go on randomland.com, check out our Route 66 t-shirts or get yourself a sick R hat. R stands for adventure and it stands for kindred spirits. Or check out my new book, Tales from Randomland. If you want to do any of that, it's all at randomland.com. Like I said, maybe join the Patreon, hang out with us. On the morning announcements, there's lots of ways to support my work. But you know what? You watched the video, you made it all the way to the very end, which I appreciate more than I can tell you. You're part of the all the way to the very end club, and I really like that. All right, you've done your duty. Go home, sleep well, and I'll see you next time further along down old Route 66.